Hello everybody, welcome to join this new episode of MLC Webinar Series. I'm very happy to have you on board today here with us at MLC. All right guys, so first and foremost, I kindly ask you to check the chat and try it out, see if it works. Just drop me a quick message. Hello, buongiorno. You can say me hello in your own language. That would be much appreciated, just to make sure that you all can use the chat and so that you can, of course, interact with me during the webinar. Ciao, Raffaella. Hello, John. I see the last, some others are joining. Doreen Pei from Cape Town. Not sure which one is the name, which one is the surname. That's my bad, but I'm very excited having you from Cape Town. Must be beautiful out there. Let me see, Carolina. Hello, ciao, welcome to join. I can see Julia from Austria. That's very nice as well. Must be snowy. Is it snowy, Julia, in Austria? Right now, I'm back from Dubai. I'm in Milan, Italy. There is a beautiful sunny day. So no snow for us this week. Greeting from Luxembourg, where I know, Adrian, it is snowy. It's just cold in Austria. Okay, cool. So we have people from Luxembourg as well. Okay. What's the weather like in Cape Town? I'm very curious about it. Right, I see lots of people are also joining. Very nice. Okay, so ready to start to talk about how to deliver effective presentations online. What we can say is that nowadays, guys, if this webinar takes place, it is because we all deliver online presentations. We moved from a situation in which we could tell that the presentation was something in which we were in front of people that could have been in a meeting room most commonly, but for in other occasions it could easily be on a stage giving a speech, anyway, in front of people, to a situation which is very close to what you see here today. What we see here today is me talking to you behind the camera, in front of a screen. I don't even have a chance to see you. I just feel the energy of all of you connecting from all different parts of the world, and this is very, very nice. But this is what we get. It's talking in front of a camera, looking at an objective and watching the screen. This is what we get. We don't get the empathy or the feeling of the of having the opportunity to connect with people directly. Now, is this good or bad? In my opinion, if we manage that properly, so if we are able to leverage, most importantly, the technology, and to keep the delivery part under control, I believe we have a very good window of opportunity here. Because for a simple reason that this is new to many of us. I mean, we have all been delivering online presentations before. I definitely know that, but come on, how many people are not able to do that very well today? How many of us have really explored all the potential opportunities that technology offers us? And I'm not talking about building a TV studio in your own place. I'm just talking about small, smart hacks that we can implement to completely evolve your delivery online. Now, since most of us haven't had the time to do that, we are still in a phase that I call reactive phase, in which we actually found ourselves pitching our projects, our most important projects, from a meeting room to online. Now, we are still learning how all of this works, right? If this is true, this means it is so easy to make the difference that what I'm going to show you today here, you will see with a few tricks, with a few smart tricks, will make a massive difference, and also with a very, very small budget, almost, I'm very minimum budget, almost close to zero. Now, when we talked about presentations, we were used to think about something like this, right? A person on a stage talking to people, or eventually in a meeting room. But we need to be honest, and this is what happens today. Now, we all communicate virtually, and this comes from Zoom stats. But the way we communicate virtually can differ very much. In my opinion, there are 3 interesting ways to communicate virtually, remotely, let's say. And I would really like to know which one of those 3 you use the most. So let me go through them while you answer in the chat. Audio means I just give you a phone call, or eventually I call you through a conference call tool, could be Teams meeting, Gmeet, WebEx, whatever you like, but then it's just audio. Audio plus content means that I'm giving you a presentations, but eventually I'm taking through it just with audio. So I share the slides, but then I might want to call you, or eventually I'm just calling you through a web conference app, but there is no video. The most complete way of communicating remotely is audio plus content plus videos. This means, like today, you have my slides, you have me, and then you have my audio, so you hear me, right? Now, which one of these 3 modes do you use the most? Do you find yourself using the most? Please go in the chat and tell me what you use the most. If you find somebody that answers what you already answered, you can like his answer to support it if you don't want to write. Okay, so Dimitri is saying A plus C plus V. Very okay. Audio plus content plus video. That yes. Okay. Let me see. Cheryl, audio plus content plus video. All right. Okay. Let me see, what else do we have? Raffaella, audio plus content, so no video. That's a very curious and interesting answer. Sander, audio plus, Sander, I lost you in the messages. Where are you? No, I see John took your place now. So audio plus content, Patrick, audio plus content plus video. Elena, she is suggesting audio plus content. The 3 of them, you're in. All right, so I would say that there is a good balance between audio plus content and audio plus content plus videos. Maybe some of us is using more, maybe we are more towards the plus video option. All right, that's very interesting. I see many other answers. So Sander, all of them. All right, Andrew, all of them. Carolina, all of them. All right. Then I see Enas, I think, all of them. And then Adrian, all of them. All right, then definitely the audio plus content plus video wins. Okay, hands down, this is the way we communicate today. Fine. And this is the most seen out there. Now, this is true, but on the other side, this is what happens very, very often when we deliver online presentations. Now, just write in the chat only if you don't hear the video properly.
Trip Crosby
has joined the meeting.
Beth
has joined the meeting.
Hello?
Tyler?
No, this is Beth from ICS.
Oh, hey, Beth. How are you doing?
Oh, good. Yeah. Just making it, you know.
Tyler?
Has joined the meeting.
All right, well, this is Trip. Who's here? Tyler's here.
Beth's here.
Okay, the purpose of today's meeting is to discuss the...
Yeah, I'll be able to do it in like 30 minutes. John?
Has joined the meeting.
Hi, John.
Hi.
I was just trying to go over the purpose of today's meeting, which is to discuss the Tyler?
Has joined the meeting.
Sorry, guys, I got cut off. Is Paul here? Send him an invite.
Put in your access code.
No, that's your PIN number.
It should be a 9-digit number.
Try pressing the pound key. Paul.
Has joined the meeting.
Any questions before we move on?
Yes, this is Beth. What's our best plan of attack for the second quarter?
Question
What
actually.
we should do.
Oh,
Go ahead. Oh, well, I think what we should do.
It actually depends on how you look at it, because
the
the
really come.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I think
Given
what we-
sales,
what
we're at a.
really- I
Let,
think
let me just say that
Okay.
was a great graph, John. Tyler?
Well, my main concern with the projections from last year was that they're just insufficient. I mean, they're not even taking into account.
Did we lose Tyler again?
Hello?
John, are you guys taking distributions? John?
Oh, my bad. I was on mute. Let me start over.
So I've prepared a presentation. I'm sharing it with all of you. You should be able to see it on your screen right now.
Got it.
I don't see a link anywhere.
It says I need to download a plugin.
We are all using Macs, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
How can you?
Financials are looking great. Paul, do you have any comments on staffing?
I was thinking about that because we get a few more contractor types in. Hold on, I'm sorry.
Rex, get down!
I don't know. I feel like when I look at the numbers last quarter, yeah, I can't really tell a huge difference. So if we were to really tighten that up, then I
To me, staffing is a huge impact.
What is that?
Is that me? Is that me?
That's not me. I don't think.
I just want to go over a couple of details as we move into our next section here. We got 3 new departments coming on board.
Break it up a little bit, guys.
By the end of Q3.
Driving to
So
a
I'm
dead
gonna need
spot.
everyone to give me detailed evaluations each
Sorry,
month
guys.
so that we know. That's it, guys. Beth, you'll send out a recap email that could have basically taken the place of this whole meeting, correct?
Yep, always do.
Yeah, thanks for doing that, Beth. Dave, you been here the whole time?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, thanks everyone once again. Oh, one more.
Did you like the video? I saw this passing by on my channels, and I really couldn't resist to share it today. So because I honestly think that this is what actually happens all the time. This is true. This is what happens when we deliver presentations. I saw that during the video, Patrick commented, waiting for the US Seal muted, which is what actually was about to come in a second. And this is what actually happened. This is daily life, right? So I thought this picture said so well that I couldn't resist to share it with you today, guys. It so much makes the point. So apart from this, we say that video conferencing really works, right? It does. It actually improves connectedness. It makes us more efficient. It helps sales. It helps relationships. And overall, we can say that it improves performances of remote workers. And it is the video plus audio plus content is replacing the audio only way of communicating. However, the problem is that if we don't do that properly, then our projects, our presentations are at risk. So we need to learn how to do that properly. Now, I know that this is, as we said, still a reactive mode. I used to teach at university, and the way we analyze these phases is really it's more 3 phases. Like the phase right now, it's reactive mode, and there will be a mode with proactive mode, and then there will be an innovation mode. So it's like in maybe 2 or 3 years time. So we'll see new business models coming, new ways of communicating, completely disrupting the market and leveraging the opportunities. Because yes, guys, I believe that opportunities are really out there all around us. Just a matter of take them and not just to stick to what we have and just leave our presentations to be ineffective as most of them are today. I see many presenters presenting. I coach one-to-one many presenters when they give strategic presentations. I can tell you that sometimes when I always ask them, give me your presentation, deliver to me the presentation before, and then we work on your presentation at the beginning when I see it. Most of the time, it's not effective at all. It's not just a matter of design, but really the delivery makes all the difference. How do we present remotely effectively? I'm about to unveil you all the secrets, all the tricks more than the secrets, I've been experimenting, testing, and I'm still testing. I can tell you that there is a lot of information online. The problem is that it is fragmented. It requires a lot of testing, buying tools, then removing the tools and find that there was a cheapest way to do that. So it's always a lot of experimenting, exploration. Now, I do that for work, and so for sure I have a lot of time to spend on it. But I understand that if we just need all of these ready, and the information packed into an easy and executable way, that maybe a webinar like this one today takes place fine, is on place nowadays. How do we do that? Well, before we start, just let me tell you that at the end of the webinar, for those who follow me, you always know that I like to always share some bonuses, free bonuses. So for those of you who will be with me up to the end, there will be some bonuses that I will distribute. Right. Let's start right away. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Maurizio. I am co-founder and CEO of MLC Presentation Design. We design presentations for people's success. We basically take care of strategic, important presentations, and we help you guys out redesigning those presentations, redefining the storyline, and then delivering them in an effective way. Our approach to presentations, I would say, is 360. Why is that? For a simple reason. Because a presentation is not just design, it's not just delivery, it's not just content. It's a lot of this. It's the component. It's a mix. The union of all these components. Now, when we talk about public speaking, when we are on face-to-face with people, we perfectly know that all we have to do is look at them in the eyes, then find the right way to use hand gestures, and then the way we move from one part of the other or the other of the meeting room makes a difference. The way we interact with our slides makes a difference. The way in which we balance our eyes onto each person in the room makes the difference. We don't have to cross our hands. We don't have to unbalance ourselves. We have to keep our weight balanced. We don't have to play with things while we give a speech. We shouldn't show that we are nervous, so on and so forth. But what happens when we are online? Because everything changes. Yes, but still there is a person behind the presentation. That person is you. So how do you deliver this presentation effectively? The first thing I would say is stick to basics. Means always do what you were used to do before. Keep in mind that the presentation is not for you, but for them, for your audience. Focus on them. How do we do that? Well, let's start to put ourselves into their shoes. How do we do that? Well, let's ask. Let's wonder, what do they actually see? Because during a remote presentation, what they normally see is something like this. They should see you into a box and your slides into another box. And eventually, they might see the other participants in the room. All right, so this is what they see. Fine. How do they see you? Because the issue here is that looking at them is as important as it was before. The issue is that this time, looking at them to make them feel part of your speech means staring at the camera for an hour of webinar today, which might make you feel a bit lonely. So, especially in contexts like this one today, which there are a few of us, and so I always prefer not to have the mics, I always prefer the guests not to have the videos on. The point is that, yes, you can chat with me, but I don't see you. And so the only thing I will be seeing for the on-time presentation is a camera. Looking at the camera, it's not easy, but looking at the camera is the only way to make the audience feel that you are looking at each of them. Now, is this easy? No, it's not. Of course, it's not. Also because you have plenty of distractions out there. I mean, you might have a chat. Now, I don't see you, all right, but very often in meetings, we do see the others. So you tend to watch at the others because you want to see how they react, because it's natural. It's natural. You look at them. You need to feel them. It's much more natural to look at them in the eyes, even though they are into a screen, instead of just watching at the camera for the entire length of the meeting. Plus, you have the chat. I have the chat today. I always have it under my eyes so I can quickly interact with you. Eventually, you want to interact with me, I can answer your questions real time. And at the same time, I have people joining the room. right now. So I might have several distractions, right, that might take my eyes away. I have my slides. I'm using my presenter view. We'll talk about that later. So many distractions are taking my eyes here. Somebody's joining. So you see, I have to go and check that. Now, this means that by doing so, those distractions are taking my eyes far away from the objective. Is this good or bad? Of course, it's not the best option, but this is what we get. So my recommendation is to try to be natural, look at the camera as much as you can. This is the only way to make them feel engaged. But this is not the only one, because hand gestures still count. Imagine if I gave you the presentation like this, completely flat, no hand gestures, same tone of voice. I mean, it's completely different if I use my hands, right? So hand gestures really help. But to do that, you need to make sure that the camera frames you correctly. How do we do that? We use what in photography we call the rule of thirds. Now, the rule of thirds is used to shoot pictures, so to make them interesting, and therefore we try to frame people or the main subject around the crossing points that we call the PowerPoints. But when we talk in video, like today, the best way is to make sure that, you know, the people see your hands, right? Now you see my head, you see my hands, you see me. It's like, imagine when you look at BBC or the news, what you see is you see half of the person, right? You see from the eye to the hands. So make sure that people see you. Now, I always do recommend that. I'm not doing that today, but I always recommend that to do that if you have many people in the room. Today, we're not so many, so I can manage the chat myself. It's fine. But if you can't, or if you're delivering an important presentation, it's few of you in the team, then my recommendation is make sure that you have somebody who can take care of the chat, so you reduce distraction, you reduce noise. If this is what your audience see, my next question is, what do they hear? Here, something that is very, very hard to do, at least for me. Not too fast, no mumbling, especially when you're talking foreign languages. Now, not too fast. I tend to get very excited when I deliver presentation, and therefore I tend to speed it up. So sometimes having a little break helps people to breathe. Don't feel scared of offering opportunities for breaks, because sometimes I barely understand that for you it might seem infinite break, but for people it's not. It's just a moment to cool down and to relax and make the point. So don't hesitate to slow down, because slowing down is always a good option. Now, how much to slow down? Not too much. You can manage tone of voice, you can manage the speed of your speech, you can speak a lot faster, or you can speak slower to make a point a bit clearer. Full stop, right? And then you can manage your tone of voice. Are you whispering something that is very important? Or eventually, are you highlighting something and then you want to really tone up? What are you saying? So adapting the right tone of voice definitely help you out. When you're whispering, you might even consider going closer to the camera, like you're talking to them and you're really whispering to them. But you can also step back and then have a stronger tone of voice if you really want to make a point. Now, the point is, yes, be engaging, but do not overdo that. Do not shout in the mic. I definitely don't understand why people shout all the time in these mics. There is no need to do that, and then you get people who have to reduce their sound all the time. This is not easy to do, especially if you don't have an audio mixer behind, so you cannot perfectly tone your set your audio volumes. But my recommendation is try to speak the way you would speak if those people were just in front of you, right? All right. And what else? Mute yourself. Always mute yourself if you are not giving the speech. I know we all work in remotely, so very often we just get out from the bed and we jump into a call, but this is not a good strategy. Make sure that you have a good tone of voice. Your voice is warmed up, and therefore you can actually deliver a good presentation. Don't make a presentation when you are tired, you just woke up, you come from the bed, let me get my first coffee. It's not energetic, it's not effective at all. And most importantly, do not forget that we do most of our remote presentations as I'm doing it today, sitting. Now, when you sit, there is a massive difference compared to when you deliver presentations standing. Why? Because you tend to lay down on your seat, you tend to curve yourself, close yourself, and when you close yourself, your voice is not coming out in a very effective way. So try to stand straight. Even if you're sitting, try to not relax too much. This makes a huge difference, and this doesn't tire your vocal cords so much. So it's better you talk. We should all talk with the diaphragm. I know this is not easy to do, but I'm not saying we become all voice coaches. What I just recommend is just stand straight. This makes a huge difference, I can tell. Right, let's jump into something that is a bit crispy, a bit interesting here. And let's jump straight away into the technology, because technology does matter. When we talk about technology, the first thing I would like to say is about how important is the video, the quality of the video of yourself, guys, yourself. So your video. Now, I'm talking about the webcam, of course, because this is the tool that we use to make ourselves visible in front of our audiences. But most of the time, these are not the kind of webcams I like. Those are replacement for laptop camera. How many, actually, this is a good question. Go in the chat and tell me, how many of you use the laptop camera? Or if you use another kind of camera, just tell me in the chat. I'm really curious to know, you guys, what kind of camera do you use for online meetings, for online presentations? What camera do you use? Go in the chat and let me know. I'm really curious to know what kind of camera you use. Are you using the laptop camera? Because most of us, I know, are using the laptop camera. Okay, so let me see. Elena, laptop camera, okay. Patrick is telling us I use webcam for normal meetings and a DSLR for presentation sound. This is very cool, very advanced. Okay, Shalabi Enes. Okay, Enes, sorry. iPad cam, okay, not bad at all. Very interesting choice. Anna, webcam, right? Adrian, laptop camera. Carolina, laptop camera. Okay, and then we have Andrew, laptop camera as well. Okay. Let me see. Rafaela, depends on where I am. Laptop at home, webcam in the office. All right, this might be different depending on the location. Julia, she's using a Logic StreamCam, so quite interesting choice. This is, of course, must have much better quality of the traditional cam. Now, what I see is that very often people who don't want to use the laptop camera go for a webcam. But then when you go for a webcam, most of the time you spend $30, $40, you get one of these webcams and that's it. Now, those cameras might be good, especially if you use some of them that are optimized for streaming, but you need to spend some money on them. You need to invest some money on them. And sometimes they don't have the best angle because you have to stick them on top of a second monitor, so they are too tall, or they're not very portable. Now, what's the best camera that we can really use when we do presentations? I do believe that the best camera that we can use is something that is always with us, no matter whether we are in an office, remote working from a beach, or I don't know, at home, right? The best camera you can use, in my opinion, is one of your smartphone. Why? Because they, hands down, is way better than the one from your laptop, and it's easy to use. Even if you guys use, let's not even talk about the back camera. Let's talk about the front camera. Even just a front camera would make a huge difference compared to the laptop camera. So how do you actually use your smartphone, which, by the way, guys, is always with you? How can you use your smartphone as a camera for your online presentations? Well, the way you can do that is through simple apps. Two of them are my favorite ones. This one, iVcam, is the one that I use for free. It converts your smartphone into a camera. Recommendation one, connect it through USB to your laptop so you don't run out of battery in the middle of the presentation. Second, just turn on the airplane mode, keep it connected to the Wi-Fi, but keep it in airplane mode so no incoming calls can disturb you. Second app also worth to mention from Elgato is Hippocam. This is also very good. It has some advanced options, but I'm still on IVCam because I find it a bit more stable. And furthermore, you can take your smartphone and put it into tripod, which you can buy for $10 on Amazon.com. Not even. There are some that cost $9, $5. You can get them really easily online, and those can give you the opportunity to do something like this. So this could be a setup that sometimes I use. I have my smartphone that just comes out from the laptop, and it frames me correctly. Now, with a simple smartphone that you all have with you and with a simple tripod, you can really make a huge difference. Standing versus sitting, as we said, is not given at all, because I've seen somebody, for example, using, and this is something I'm going to test, I will let you know what is the outcome of this result, but I'm converting my desk into a standing desk, so to consider giving the opportunity of delivering standing presentations. Standing is not bad at all. It enhances hand gestures. It's easier for us when we stand to use our hands to enhance our messages. It's a bit less natural when we're sitting, even though I'm getting used to it. And the voice, you don't risk to, curve yourself onto the chair, and therefore your voice is much more powerful. Still, you need some equipment to do that, and make sure that if you are far away from your equipment, then you might need to have a Bluetooth mic or a Wi-Fi mic to record yourself, or eventually Bluetooth earbuds. But we will talk more about this afterwards. Why do we need to prefer sitting? Why do we do that sitting? Most of the time it's because I like to be close to my control, right? I have many things to control here, and therefore I prefer. That's why I'm considering the standing desk, because with a standing desk I could be standing, but at the same time I could be close to my equipment, and therefore this could really make me very, very efficient. I don't know if some of you have already tested it. If you had, please feel free to share the experience in the chat. I'm very curious to know how it feels to presenting with a standing desk. I'm really curious to know that. I'm just considering a few alternatives to find the best one to buy and evolve my setup in my home office. Right, what do you see? I want to pause here for a second and ask you the question once again. What do you see? When you deliver a presentation, what do you actually see? What do you have in front of your eyes? What are you looking at? Because this might seem the easiest question on earth. You could say, Mauri, all right, but this is easy. Of course I know what I'm looking at. I'm looking at my screen, I'm looking at my camera. Yes, but in your screen, what are you looking at? Are you looking at the attendance? Are you looking at the current slide? Let's go the other way around. What do you actually need to see? Well, first and foremost, in my opinion, what you need to see is the presenter mode of PowerPoint. There is no discussion on that, guys. I accept no discussion on this. Presenter view in PowerPoint makes a huge difference to presenters. Now, question for you guys. Do you use it? Do you know what is the presenter view in PowerPoint? When you go slideshow, do you actually know how to do that? Do you use it when you present it? Yes. This is the one I'm showing here to you. Thank you, Adrian. It is the one I'm showing it here to you, and this makes a huge difference when you deliver a presentation. Why? Because, well, it allows you to be always one step ahead to your audience, and so you always know what's coming next. This means that by using the presenter view, you don't have to wait for the next slide to come up to comment on it, because it's very poor, and many people do that. They just wait for the next slide to come up to just comment on it. Now, this doesn't work. What you want to do is being one step ahead and already start commenting on the next slide, so that you're ready to move to the next slide at the moment in which you really want people to see what you have already said. Therefore, guys, my recommendation is always use the presenter view. If you have two screens, You might know that you have to use the extend onto the second screen. So this might be the result. For example, it could be a laptop connected to a second monitor. This is my home setup. So very often I used to do that. Now I evolved on this. I don't use that anymore because sometimes it might be that you don't have a second monitor. Here you have a few options. The first option, it's about 10 euros or something like that. You can buy this app. It's called Do It. It converts any smartphone or tablet into a second screen. I used this for a while, but this is not my favorite option. It's my favorite option. Well, as you can see, I use it with a mini iPad. So I was using my mini iPad to use a presenter view. But again, this is not my favorite option. You can do it in another way. For example, if you look at this screen, look at that. Do you notice something weird? Look at that. This is my setup. So I have the participants on one screen, presenter view on the other screen. Now you might wonder, Mauri, but where is the slideshow? I mean, you're projecting the slideshow, right? You know that when we project the slideshow is full screen slide. Where is that? Now I'm going to tell you that you don't need to look at it. You don't need to have it under your eyes. You don't need to have it onto your screen. The only thing you need for that is for your people to see it. So what your people need to see is your full screen slide. But you don't need that. You need a presenter view. How do we do that? It's a bit tricky, but I'm sure that you are going to discover something new here. Tell me if you knew that. So the trick is you go Alt F5 in PowerPoint. Alt F5 allows you to activate the presenter mode and the slide show into two different windows. Now this can happen also on one screen. Right now I'm using one screen. I'm not even using two screens, just one screen. It's more than enough for me today. I'm using one screen. What I do is Alt F5, I run the slideshow. Then I put my, let me move to show you. So the presenter view is going to be in a window, and as you can see behind, you have the full screen slide. So two windows, right? Now what I can do is I go on Teams, for example, and I share the slideshow only. So I'm not sharing the presenter view, I'm not sharing my screen, I'm not sharing the PowerPoint, I'm just sharing the slideshow, right? By doing that, I will free my main screen. Well, I can free my main screen because right now I'm sharing the presenter view. Well, I'm sharing the slideshow. I have the presenter view, but I might want to free a screen so the slideshow can take a full screen. If you don't have two screens, it might be a bit boring. It might bother you. You don't have much space. So what I do is I take, this is Windows tab to open this screen on Windows. And so what I do is I take the slideshow and I just put it onto a desktop too, so a second virtual desktop. By doing that, at the end of the day, what I get is two screens completely free because the slideshow is on desktop 2. And on desktop 1, what I have is on the left-hand side, I have my Teams on my laptop. On the right-hand side, I have my presenter view, so I always see my slides. And I have a second free screen in case I just want to do some demo. Very often in my webinars, I do a lot of demos. I solve slides live. I'm not going to do that today because we have a lot to talk about. But normally, if you follow my webinars, you know that at the end of my webinar, I always like to get some slides from you guys and solve them real time. So this might be useful for me because I have my, let's say, direction into my laptop, but I always have a second screen that is free to use. Patrick, I love this when I discovered that, you know, guys, every time I discover something, I pack all this information and I run a webinar. So just let's keep in touch, follow the webinars, and I will always share everything I learn on the topic. I'm very passionate about it, and I always love when you guys contribute to it. So feel free to do that. What about embedded videos in presentations? Very good option. Do that, but remember to include the system audio when you share them. Otherwise, people will not hear them, right? How do we do that? Well, on Teams it's very easy. On Zoom is very easy. WebEx easy. On Gmeet you have some limitations, but you can do that in all the apps. So just remember to include your system audio and to shut down your WhatsApp web, Telegram web, emails, whatever is sending you a notification that can be heard, because you're sharing not the presentation audio, but the system audio. Keep that in mind. You don't want people to get all your notifications during your speech. Right. If you don't know how to do that, this will be part of the recording. I also published an article on my LinkedIn profile. This is not only in Italian, but there will be a lot of bonuses at the end of the presentation. You will learn more about it. All right, what about hearing? Headphones or earbuds? What do we need to prefer? In my opinion, both are just fine, and very often they are even integrated with the headphones. My preferred choice, however, is I'm using Bluetooth earbuds. In my case, I use AirPods because I have an iPhone, but it's not compulsory to use AirPods. And the reason why I'm using AirPods is for a very simple reason, is because they are disconnected. So I'm using one, and then I'm charging the other. Now, an AirPod lasts 1.5 hours of speech, 1 hour and 15 minutes in reality, but it takes 15 minutes only to recharge. So I can always use that one and recharge the other at the same time, and then change them if I'm going to give long speeches. So this is very useful. My recommendation is I tried many Bluetooth devices. My recommendation is if you go for a Bluetooth device, which I would recommend so you are not wired to your equipment, eventually you can, you're free when you give your speech, it's fine, but make sure that you have something that can be recharged during the speech. Otherwise you might incur into something that will run out of battery easy, because we do that. We do meetings, I don't know you guys, but we do presentations all the time. We are all the time connected, and therefore this might create some issue. However, recently I discovered that with this new mic, this directional mic, it captures my voice. So even if I just didn't use AirPods and I had my audio to go through my laptop, that would be perfectly fine, because you wouldn't hear that because the mic doesn't capture it. So even a good mic might make the difference. A good mic that doesn't capture background noise, because we all have background noise. Now, this is not my case, but I see that many people, they have kids at home, and this is perfectly fine. We need to live with that. The point is, make sure that you can deal with background noise. The best way, use a mic that doesn't capture background noise. Now, I'm using a mic that is a bit advanced for business meetings, because I'm testing a lot of equipment, because sometimes I've been sent this equipment, but even just the mic that you can clip to your shirt, that would be fine, and that costs 15 euros. So just make sure that it is a directional mic, captures your voice, doesn't capture other things. So this makes really a massive difference. All right, visual contents. We often say we don't want to give too much. We need to be aware of two kinds of noises when we design presentations. First one is busyness, the second one is background noise. Busyness means I don't know where to look. I'm lost, because every single object on the slide is shouting at me, while there are some designs on the web that are so clear, so easy to understand. We immediately know what to do. This is the landing page of Airbnb as a design that is very simple, very lean. I love it. I mean, I'm the founder of Lean Presentation Design, guys. What can I tell you? Background noise. Very often, we use so many items we don't actually need. We accumulate a lot of clicks. We waste a lot of time trying to beautify our slides, adding 3Ds and adding elements and adding backgrounds and adding colors, adding special effects, adding shadows. Guys, why? If with a few clicks you can get much more. Less is more. Stop trying with these 3Ds, adding small pictures, adding effects to these pictures. Stop with that, please. Because with much less, you can achieve much more. So don't give too much, right? But don't give too little. Sometimes presentations are too slim. So especially when you deliver presentation, you need to balance your content very well. So make sure that people understand what you're going to tell them, and therefore balance your slides to enhance a quick bounce between you and your slides, so it's quick and works effectively. Sometimes I also like to use navigation systems. You might have a process to go through. Now, these slides, of course, is not lean enough. I don't love it. But if you look at that on the top left-hand corner of this slide, I introduced a navigation system that works very well because I'm taking people through the different sections so they always know in which part of the presentation I am. So this is something that I often use, not all the time, but I often like to use it because it might make a difference. Navigation system, how do we do that? Well, it's made by an agenda, it's made by section dividers. They introduce each section in your presentation, and then I have a small navigator that recalls my agenda, positioned somewhere on the corner of each slide, or not necessarily on the corner, it depends on your design. When you see the slide, you understand where it should be put. Finally, last but not least, communication flow. You know that the storyline to me is everything in a presentation. I told you that me and my team, we do that for a living. We design presentations. We only do one thing. We design presentations, strategic presentations for our clients. Yes. So we don't just focus on design, but we put a lot of attention on the storyline. It's important what you say first, what you say afterwards, what you should say, and what you should not say. Sometimes it's not easy to let some information go. I know. That's why we can help you. Now, it's important because you don't want people to get killed by PowerPoint. And this is the way we, presentation strategists, we call it. It's called death by PowerPoint. So the order in which you position the information makes all the difference. I talk a lot about how to streamline your presentations in my books, the Lean Presentation Design book, the Startup Pitch Presentation book. But this is not the topic of today's speech. This is something that you find interesting. I kindly ask you to tell me, just post on the MLC Presentation Design LinkedIn page if you have any recommendation on topics, on something you struggle with, you would like me to answer, and I would be glad to take that in account in our webinars and deal with that theme, with that topic. Right. Overall, what I can tell you is that we like to plan first. So what I often do, wrapping up in a few words, I often start with the presentation. What do I want people to do after my presentations that they wouldn't have done without my presentation? And this is what we call a persuasive objective, right? And then I create my storytelling. I go through the situation, which is introduction of a presentation, then I go complication and resolution. Now, all of this is done through a canvas, which is a proprietary canvas that I created and that we use as part of our methodology when we develop presentations for our client. This is free, available online. You can download it. If some of you is wondering whether you should buy a book for that, not at all. I distribute it through my website. It's completely free to use. If you're curious to know how to do that, just chat, write in the chat. I'd be more than happy to give you the reference. Finally, keyword, self-improvement. Guys, there is no better way than watching yourself presenting online. And this is a powerful opportunity that we get when we deliver online presentations. Record yourself. How many times we record meetings that nobody then watches? How many times do you re-watch yourself after you gave a presentation? I'm really curious, guys, do you re-watch yourself after presentation? Do you do that? Really, don't lie to me. Just be honest in the chat. Do you do that? I mean, if you do that, you perfectly know, yeah, Patrick, I also hate it. I perfectly understand. But guys, I can tell you this makes a massive, massive difference. A massive difference. All right, I don't know, that's very good. This makes a massive difference. If you watch at your recording, you look at yourself, this makes a massive difference. You can learn so much from yourself. It's impressive. My recommendation is, trust me for once. Do that once, and you will learn so much. You will see that your presentation delivery will improve, will completely change from one presentation to the other. Right. Now, got important presentations coming? We are here to help. The way we do that, we do that with bonuses, you know. At the end of this presentation, I produce the biggest guide, and I'm not saying that to just exaggerate, but I'm telling you, I challenge you to find a bigger guide on the web. I wrote the biggest and most comprehensive guide on online presentations, collecting all these tricks and many others, and that I posted on my website. It's free to consult, It's free to download. It's online. It's massive guide. I condensated month of experiences and tests in this guide, and it's available to all of you. You don't even need to go and look for it, because I'm going to follow up to this webinar with an email in which I will send it to you. Also, the webinar today has been recorded, as always. Therefore, I will give to you the recording. I saw somebody was asking me to go through some slides. I want to get to the end to eventually go and make and clarify some points. But you have the webinar recording, so you can always go back. And I think this might be useful to all of you. Important presentations coming. This is me and my team. We are here for that. So keep us in mind if you have strategic or important presentations coming. What we do is we design lean presentations based on our methodologies. That could be for marketing presentations, innovation, new product launches presentations, corporate profile presentations, employer branding for HR, or corporate PowerPoint system, right? Templates. We do that, but we also offer the tools. I personally invented more than 30 buttons for PowerPoint, custom functions that changed my life, the life of my team, and that today people all over the world are using. We also have an insider community, but this is reserved only to power users of the add-in, to which we collaborate with for developing it. This is a very powerful tool. We also have integrated and released a platform to manage your assets, means that you can save your assets into PowerPoint and create your libraries of favorite icons, images, and have them always available, or distribute them through your company. We do that cross-industry for many clients, so feel free to just reach out to me directly. I'd be happy to hear about your presentation, schedule a call, and go through it together. The best way to stay in touch with me is always LinkedIn, so just feel free to drop a message on the event page, on the MLC presentation page, or eventually just drop me a message directly through chat. I'd be happy to welcome you and schedule a call with you. Right. I hope you appreciated the presentation today. I want to thank you very much for the time you dedicated to me. We still have 5 minutes to go. This means I will be here for you guys to answering your questions if you have any. So just feel free to drop me a message, or just feel free to tell me if you found this interesting. This is really not a webinar, formal webinar, I would say. It's mostly an update for our community, so you know that I like to share news when I get them. This webinar is really a collection of the information that I discovered all on the way, and therefore I'm just sharing them with you. It's not really a lesson, it's more a sharing session. Therefore, I hope you appreciate this new way of sharing, let's say, compared to our previous webinars. Let me see, Adrian, what does MLC abbreviation stand for? Anybody can guess? What does MLC stand for? Let's see if somebody can guess. That's very easy, guys. Come on. What does MLC stand for? Yes, Patrick, thank you very much. It's Maurizio Lacao. It's my name. Thank you very much, Anna. Yes, Adrian, that's my name. It's very easy. Not a lot of fantasy behind here. Not a lot of creativity. Thank you, Raf. Let me see. There are some questions, Julia. Not sure if I missed. How did you implement the small video window into your slideshow? The small video window into your slideshow, Julia, I'm sorry, but I'm not really sure I'm getting your question. If you can rephrase it, maybe I can help you. Jerry, sadly, I entered late, but I liked what I saw. Thank you. Looking forward to the recording. Yes, Jerry, I will share the recording. So if you guys joined later, no worries. I will share it with you. It's always good to be connected in advance, because, of course, this helps you interact with me. But if you join late, there is a recording that we will post, and we will be back to you with that. Anna, thank you very much for clarifying this to everybody. Anna is proudly part of my team. She takes care of the beautiful design and branding of everything you see out there. And I'm very proud she's joining the webinar today. And thank you very much for being with us, Anna. All right, Rafi, name, surname, Adrian, big smile. Yes, definitely. Thank you, Anna, for spending time to be with us today. All right, any other question? Julia, would you like to clarify this question? Eventually, I might help you out with that. No worries if you like to rephrase. Few more minutes to go, guys, so feel free to just drop out your questions. Just share with me what you found most interesting eventually in this webinar. If there was something that you found very interesting, something that wasn't clear, something that you think you're going to rewatch, just feel free to drop me a quick message in the chat. If there are no other questions, however, I think we can close a few minutes earlier then. So once again, Jerry, I think Julia meant how you set up your screen. All right, the way I set up my screen, it really depends on the kind of presentation I have to deliver. Okay, but guys, are you talking about the way I'm doing it today or what I discussed in the webinar? Because what I discussed in the webinar is I use Microsoft Teams, I share my screen, I share the slideshow, and I put the slideshow into the second desktop. So this is what I'm doing in Teams. This is what I shared with you today. What I'm doing today, the fact that I can move from one scene to the other, like I'm talking and then I move to another scene. So this is because I'm using something that is a bit more complicated. I'm using a software that is called OBS Studio. This is a software for streaming. It's a bit more complicated to implement it for business meetings. I do that only for webinars or lessons, and this allows me to change the scenes. I'm also using a mirrorless camera, Sony A6000 today. It's a bit old, but still works with the dummy battery. Sorry for that, but it's very good. But however, for business meetings, you don't need this setup, it's too much. So if you're curious to know about this, I'd be very happy to share more about it. Yes, so Anna, yeah, OBS is very good. If you're comfortable with it, use it. I love it. I think it's a bit too much maybe for business meetings. If you have to talk for 20 minutes, just sharing the screen is more than enough. But if you give webinars, I think it creates a nice effect. I'm still playing around with the scenes. So today I just have a few scenes, and if you want a trick, I'm using a Razer mouse. This is a gaming mouse. It has many buttons, and so I connect the different scenes to the different buttons of my mouse, and therefore I can change scenes while I'm talking through the mouse right away. It's very comfortable. Streamlabs version, yes, Patrick, I read about it. I'm not 100% sure I understand what is the difference. I need to, honestly, on this I need to study, but if you like to share with us what is the difference with the Streamlabs version, what it offers on top of the OBS, I would really happy to learn more about it. I was looking into that a few days ago, but I didn't jump too much. I didn't dig deeper into that. So I'm not 100% sure what the Streamlabs offer more. Yeah, and I agree with you. It really depends on your goals. 100%, it does. Adrian, I meant the background that you have. Maurizio, nice books. Thank you very much. Somebody could call that product placement. Yes, you see my 4 books here. Basically, I wrote 2 books, Lean Presentation Design and Startup Pitch, but the 2 on this side, so the black and the yellow one are the English ones, and the one on this side are the Italian ones. So those are just my books. You can find them on Amazon all over the world. If you're curious about them, go on the website, browse in the books sections, and you will find extracts that I distribute for free. So just go there, check the extract. If you like the books, then you can buy them online. They are available on Amazon. Right, Anna, thank you very much. Okay, Anna, you use the Lean Presentation Design for your classes. All right, I'm proud of it. Thank you very much. This makes me think you are a coach or a professor, anyway, a teacher. Feel free to share what kind of topic you teach. I would really be curious about it. What do you, Anna, teach? That's very interesting. All right, I'm very proud of. I hope this is helping you out with your students. Okay, nice to hear that. Okay, Anna, thank you very much. Yes, so Anna shared with you the link to the extract. If you're curious to check the books out before you buy them, I always do that. Just So I thought it would be fair to do that. Go download the extracts from the website. This is completely for free. If you like the books, then you can go on Amazon and buy them. Adrian, many thanks for the webinar. It was a great learning experience. All right, thank you very much. I hope that I always put all my energies into this little TV show. It's amazing. I love sharing. Amazing presentations on a college level or academic presentations on college level. They must be amazing too. Sorry for misunderstanding. All right, that sounds great. Everybody should learn at college, I believe, how to deliver presentations. Otherwise, then they get into companies, they don't know how to do that. I'm teaching at university too, postgraduate master's, strategic design in Italy. I love doing that. It's just the opportunity to, the energy that students give you back is just amazing, Anna. So this is something I really share and I keep doing because I really love doing it. It gives me the opportunity to give back what I didn't receive. So it's lovely. Joeri, love your positive attitude. Keep it up. All right, thank you very much. Joeri, this is the way I am. I hope this is appreciated and then can spice up a little bit the webinar. But this is the way I believe everybody should approach his way of working. Right. We are a bit late now. Patrick would love to see slides you use for teaching. Do you have somewhere a sample? 100%, Patrick. If you browse my blog, you can find it on mauritiolacava.com. You will find plenty of examples of slides I use for teaching. My slides are the same that I use with you today. My slides, they all look the same. They're very slim. I always use our branding colors, so this yellow and black, white, but they're very slim. They're very close to the ones I'm using with you today. My opinion, they make no difference. I never distribute them though. I always write complete guides that I always distribute after my speeches so that people can read through them properly. They don't have to go through my slide and remember what I said at a certain point of the slide, because my presentations are clearly not self-standing. Okay. Anna, thank you so much for this. Thank you very much for joining. Follow Maurizio on Instagram, Patrick. Yes, okay, this is something I didn't mention. Maybe Anna wants to share the link with you. I have, so MLC Presentation Design, my company has a beautiful Instagram profile where we only post small carousel presentations. So if you go there, every week we post a new carousel. You go there, you can check them. All right, if you don't have Instagram, I repost them on my LinkedIn profile. They are featured on my LinkedIn profile. So go on my LinkedIn profile and you will find them. On my LinkedIn profile. Very easy. You can go through them. You can check the carousels, and you will see the style of presentations that we designed, that we delivered, that I use in my lessons. Right, Anna, thank you very much for sharing the link to Instagram. For those of you who don't follow us and you're curious to do that, just go there and look at it. And most importantly, I do recommend follow the MLC LinkedIn page on LinkedIn, because you will find all the news about the coming webinars we are going to post very soon. So if you like this webinar or you like the other webinars, I'm going to propose new topics. We will have some guests as well. So feel free also to propose yourself as a guest if you think you have something worth to share. I'd be happy to take in account. Right, we're 5 minutes beyond the schedule. I don't want to get stuck here for anybody. I know everybody needs to run probably on other calls for Americans as well, especially if you're starting the day. So thank you very much for being with me today. Once again, I will follow up with the webinar and the big guide so you can get a lot more tricks and you can rewatch the webinar. Guys, once again, from me and the MLC Presentation Design team, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to meeting you at the next webinar. Ciao a tutti!